Hey everybody, it is Kent with KG's Books. Today I'm showing you off some of my fanciest leather bindings. None of these are for sale at the moment, but they will be at some point in the future, so please be patient. If you want, you could check me out on eBay and whatnot. I do $1 auctions. Everything starts at $1. I'm Animal at 52. You can also check me out on Instagram and Facebook, KG's Unique, Rare, and Antique Books. Let's get started. Stick around to the end because the last few are some of my favorites of the day. So let's get started. All right, up first you have a really nice leather copy, full leather copy of the works of William Shakespeare with the portrait of Shakespeare and some of the different characters. I'll give you a close-up of them. Absolutely incredible condition on this one. Great gilded page edges all the way around and great marbled end papers. We have the works of William Shakespeare with a life, a glossary, etc. No date, this one's definitely 1870s. There is a really nice inscription written on a page up here. We have Annie, to Annie Binfield, Christmas 1878, from the elder girls of St. Mary's Schools. Nice illustrated edition of the works of Shakespeare in a crazy beautiful leather binding. Nicely illustrated as well. King Henry VIII, Act 4, Part 2. And again, I just really like the binding with the Shakespeare and the different characters. Next, if you want an Art Nouveau binding, this is as Art Nouveau as you're ever gonna find. 2-volume set with the slipcase. Let me pull those out. Show you volume 1. I mean, it does not get more beautiful. As far as Art Nouveau book bindings, this is absolutely 100% top of the line. You will not find a more beautiful one than this, I don't think. I bought this at John K. King Books last year on my trip out there to Detroit. They're extra illustrated, so that just means they will take a book that is normally printed maybe with some illustrations, and they just fill it with sometimes up to 200 or 300 more illustrations and maps and stuff pertaining to the subject. So this is the Lives of the Sheridans, just lives of some of the famous Sheridans throughout history, or people of the Sheridan family, by Percy Fitzgerald. 2-volume set, published in 1886. Great little hand-colored frontispiece right there. This one is bound by Bainton in Bath, England. If you find a really nice quality binding like this, a lot of times, most of the time, I would say the binding marker is in the top right corner on the back side of the front end paper. It's usually right there. I will show you some examples of that. Occasionally, it's at the bottom of inside the front board or inside the rear board. Sometimes it will be stamped right there, or sometimes some really nice quality bindings aren't stamped at all or marked at all, so it's kind of a mystery. You got to do a little research, or in some cases, it is completely unknowable who did quality bindings. But if you find really nice, high-quality leather bindings like these, a lot of times they're going to be marked by the bookbinder, and they'll let you know who did the work. Absolutely beautiful works of art. Very special. Probably not the most exciting title in the world. If it wasn't for the binding, I don't think I'd have any interest in owning that set at all. But the bindings are just really special and really nice condition. That's what you want in a book. If you're going to collect bindings or just antique books in general, you want something that's interesting. You want it to be in as good as condition as possible. And you want it to be rare. So up next, this one has all 3 aspects. This is A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, illustrated by Arthur Rackham in a really beautiful leather binding. Absolutely beautiful condition. You have the Scrooge carrying his bag of money on the front cover. Great details, great leather border, and then the silk end papers on this one. The little holly leaves. And actually, this one is signed inside the rear cover by the Monastery Hill Bindery. Very nice condition on this one. This one I bought at the Twin Cities Book Fair probably about 3 years ago. I think I bought this one from Midway Books. You can check them out. They are located in the Twin Cities. A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, illustrated by Arthur Rackham. Great color plates by Arthur Rackham. I'll show you a few of those. This is one of my favorite books. I don't know when I will ever sell this one. I think if I put it on eBay, it would probably sell pretty quick, but I don't know. I just got to enjoy it for a minute before I sell it. Really great book. All right, here's another unique one. This is Alphabets by Edward F. Strange. Cool book on the history of typography. And this one is kind of a mystery. It's a really, really nice quality binding. Really beautiful book. And actually the bookbinder stamp is MC there in the back. I believe that is the bookbinder. See if I can get that to focus for you. MC stamped right there. And I reached out to some people that are much more knowledgeable about bindings than me, and they were not sure who exactly MC was, but MC definitely did an incredible job on this one. Alphabets, a handbook of lettering with historical, critical, and practical descriptions by Edward F. Strange, published in 1895. A lot of great illustrations of different type fonts. Also, it looks like you got some stuff on illuminated manuscripts as well. Really, really interesting topic, amazing condition, and this one is pretty darn rare as well. And again, if you take a book like this, if the covers were falling off and it was in poor condition, it might only be maybe a $50 book, but when you have it in a nice binding, in this kind of condition, you're probably talking maybe 500 to 1,000 retail on something like that. All right, up next, we got a nice little copy of Walton's Angler and Walton's Lives, published in 1825. Nice little bindings, and I just like the little details. You got the fish and the creels alternated throughout, and then look at that. You got the tiny little creels. I don't know if you guys can quite see those tiny little creels at the four corners of each section. And again, really nice condition, 2-volume set right here. I don't remember if this, I assume this one is, yep, there you go. There's the bookbinder mark there, bound by Revere and Son. Not sure if that's focusing for you. I hope so. The Complete Angler by Isaac Walton and Charles Cotton, published in 1823. Nice illustrated edition as well. All right, up next we have a Robert Browning's Poems. You have the different flowers on the spines, and then on the front cover you have the, I think those are tulips. You have the green tulips and red tulips. I don't know. Is there such thing as a green tulip? I don't know. I know there's red and yellow ones. Maybe some orange ones. I don't know about green, though. Beautiful leather binding. I don't think this one is signed, so we don't know who bound this one, but it is just a nice, elegant binding. The Poems of Robert Browning, published by Thomas Crowell and Company in New York. Just a nice illustrated edition of Robert Browning's poems in a nice, beautiful, elegant leather binding. All right, up next we have a really nice 4-volume set of Don Quixote. Absolutely beautiful condition on these. They do, I forgot, I don't know where I wrote it down, whose crest this was. Some sort of notable royalty figure. So that probably adds a little bit of value. There's his initials there on the rear cover. And actually, if you open these up, the inside the covers are absolutely insanely decorated with these leather designs. You have the blue leather, the tan leather, and the green leather, and just absolutely all kinds of really beautiful ornate decorations inside the front and rear covers. Let's see, we got to figure out who this one's bound by. I thought it was marked somewhere. Maybe not. Are these not marked? That would be insane if this binding wasn't signed by the binder. You know, I don't think it is. I don't know if I know I have it written down whose crest these were, and then also who the bookbinder was, but I don't see the binder markers at the moment. This is The Ingenious Gentleman Don Quixote of La Mancha by Miguel de Cervantes, 4-volume set, printed only for subscribers by George Berry in Philadelphia. This one, actually, each book has 2 sets of plates. So every illustration, there's 2 of them. And then I'll show you the limitation page. This is limited edition number 35 of 100 sets printed. So pretty darn rare on this one. I am probably going to start making more YouTube videos showing you guys some of my favorite books. See here, you have the 1 plate and then you have 2 of them. And they seem to be the exact same with the same ink and everything. Sometimes they will do kind of a black ink and then some kind of like a more of a copper dark brown colored ink. But I don't know, they did 2 matching sets of plates in this edition. All right, last little pile of books. Oh, this one I bought from France, and unfortunately, the seller did not package it very well, so the box got damaged pretty bad. I'm gonna have to find someone to repair that for me. But this is a really special book. It is a French book of hours with the case. Unfortunately, the case did get damaged. I was not very happy to see that when I opened the package. The Book of Hours in French, absolutely insane. The embossment on this cover, the different color leathers, and then you also have the flowers on the corners. You have the green leather and the kind of pinkish tannish leather for the flowers. Absolutely beautiful and really, really clean condition. This is one of my favorite books. I wish it wasn't in French, but I guess not much I can do about that. Absolutely gorgeous binding in near fine condition. This is what you want. This is the condition you want. Almost perfect. I mean, I don't see, I'm very picky about the condition of this kind of stuff, and I don't see any scuffs or scratches or anything. Beautiful gilded edges all the way around. Look at that. Look at that. They decorated the corners of the covers. And again, that's the first thing that's going to get worn on these books. But I suppose it was sitting flat in the box. So they definitely thought about protecting this, because if you're sliding this in and off a shelf, that gilt is going to get worn away on the cover. Another unique thing about this one, so the page edges are gilded, and actually it's kind of a marbled, when you open it up, it's kind of marbled. I don't know if I would quite, I guess it's kind of a 4-edge painting, a marbled 4-edge painting. I've never seen one quite like that. Beautiful design inside the front cover as well. I'd be curious, I don't know how many different stamps you'd have to use as a bookbinder to make this pattern. Pretty incredible. At the minimum, you got the flowers, you have this design, though they may have repeated it, so this might have been multiple stamps. And then again, you have the ribs of gold. So I think it definitely would have taken several tools to make just that design, plus the flowers. There is the silk end papers with MCG written right there. That would have been the initials of, I assume, probably the original owner of this book. I haven't done any research yet to figure out who that was, but they clearly had some money if they owned this book. It is dated 1892. And again, I really love the design on this one with the medieval borders. Give you a close-up of some of these. Plus there are some, I think there's some full page illustrations as well. Some really medieval era style artwork. The Victorians love to copy some of that stuff. And I think a lot of these different borders are different on quite a few pages. You know, I haven't looked at this one too much. Maybe they're all different. But this book just has a lot of really cool stuff going for it. Illustrated, beautifully illustrated, beautiful binding, and near fine condition. Yeah, I think many, maybe all of the page borders are different. I don't think I've seen any duplicates yet. Absolutely incredible. 1892 French Book of Hours. I mean, unbelievably special book right there with the original case. This one was made for someone pretty darn special, so I'll have to do some research and figure out who owned that one previously. Up next, you have a really nice 2-volume set of Scotland Illustrated from 1838. And again, I just really like these bindings. You can find, I mean, almost all the copies I see online of this, maybe all of them are leather bound, but I haven't seen any that are quite this fancy. Look at that. You have the rearing unicorns. You have the crest with the rearing lion. Looks like you have another lion up there. You have the knight and a spear. You got more lions. Plus the rear covers have that same decoration. 2-volume set, Scotland Illustrated. Scotland Illustrated in a series of views taken expressly for this work by Monsieur Alman, W.H. Bartlett, and McCulloch by William Beattie. 2-volume set published in 1838. Show you some of the plates in this one quick. A passage of the Highland Army along the side of Loch Eel, 1745. I may get some comments about wearing gloves with these books. You really don't need to wear gloves as long as your hands are clean and dry and not oily or dirty. It's fine to handle these books without gloves. I see some videos of people wearing gloves in the videos, and I don't know how are you going to carefully get this tissue paper off the illustration with you if you're wearing gloves? I don't know. Definitely would make things much more difficulty, and you're actually more prone to damage books with gloves. And I suppose if I was handling like 15th century stuff, maybe I would consider wearing gloves, but also still probably not. All right, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner, absolutely beautiful binding on this one. I wasn't able to find any other copies of this binding, so I'm not sure if this is a one-off or if there are multiple copies of this binding. Really, really nice. Again, look at all that. You have the green leather, the tan leather, the white leather, the blue leather, and then the gray leather background. Plus you got the little green dots all the way around and a beautiful design on the spine. What do we have there? You have the seahorse right there. You have a fish-looking thing there, and then you got the sailboat on the top. Absolutely incredible binding on this one. This one also came from Midway Books, though I think I bought this 2 years ago. The Rackham was 3 years ago from them. The Rime of the Ancient Mariner in 7 parts by Samuel Taylor Coleridge, presented by Willie Pogany, published by George Doran Company in New York. Really, really beautiful illustrated books. This one I think is from circa around 1920-ish. Really nice page designs, and then also you have the color plates by Willie Pogany. Absolutely beautiful book. And again, if the covers were falling off, it might not be too exciting, but in near fine condition, that's what the most serious of serious collectors want, is they want it to be almost as perfect, as close to perfect condition as you can find. If it's a one-of-a-kind book or extra scarce, they might consider a little bit worse of a copy. But if you have something that, you know, maybe there's multiple copies listed online, a lot of collectors would rather pay sometimes 10 or 20x the price of a rough copy to buy or sometimes it's even crazier than that. All right, last two and highlights of the show. We have 2 Shakespeare's, actually. This is A Midsummer's Night Dream, illustrated by W. Heath Robinson. And actually, this is just the case for the book. The case is probably more exciting, the book, honestly. Absolutely insane leather case right here. Let's open it up and show you. Actually, I'm going to move this one to the side. Really nice leather or vellum binding on this one. Full vellum binding. A Midsummer's Night Dream, illustrated by W. Heath Robinson. Really, really clean copy with the case. I mean, this case is just kind of obnoxious. I think if you went to a bookbinder and wanted to have them make you a case like this, I don't know if they would do it for less than like $500, maybe $750 I think would be the cost of just the case for this books. I bought this one. I think this was from the UK. I bought this a couple years ago on eBay, actually. You can get some pretty darn cool stuff on eBay if you're patient. You can usually get some pretty good deals, but this one's extra special. Shakespeare's Comedies, Comedy of A Midsummer's Night Dream, illustrated by W. Heath Robinson, published in 1914 by Constable and Company, limited in London. Great color plates in this one. It is a limited edition, number 244 of 250 copies, and it is signed by the illustrator right there. Absolutely beautiful book. I'll show you some of the artwork. Very elegant color plates in this one. And just a really clean vellum copy. Probably not the rare, well, I guess it's limited edition of 250 signed copies, but I mean, when I saw this case, I just knew I had to buy it. Insane to make a case this nice of a case. I mean, it is a very nice book to begin with, but that case is just, someone had a little bit of extra spending cash when they ordered that case, I think. All right, last one and highlight of the video. This is Tales from William Shakespeare by Charles and Mary Lamb, illustrated by Arthur Rackham. Absolutely insane binding, guys. I don't know if you understand. I don't even know how many different pieces of leather, different dyed leather and different colors they did for this artwork on the front cover, but absolutely insane. I should count. I don't even know how many different colors of leather they used, or they different dyed the leathers for this one. Absolutely near fine condition, unbelievably beautiful binding. But this artwork on the front cover is a true work of art. I would rather own this than any painting, I think. Here is the bookbinder. This was a little co-op work together for Sandorsky and Sutcliffe and Zaehnsdorf. Both of those companies make some of the most beautiful bindings ever made. Show you inside quick. This is Tales from William Shakespeare by Charles and Mary Lamb, illustrated by Arthur Rackham, published in 1909. Great color plates by Arthur Rackham. And it is a limited edition as well, number 482 of 750 copies, and a signed limited edition, signed Arthur Rackham, number 482 of 750 copies printed. I'll show you a few more of the plates, but honestly, this binding is just next level good. As far as bindings on books, it doesn't get... Oh, and here's actually the illustration that they took the design for the front cover from. Where is Peas Blossom? Here, I will show you this, and I will show you the front cover again. Absolutely insane binding on this one. This one is not for sale at the moment. It may be in the future someday, but this was a pretty expensive book. Probably, this might be the most expensive book I've ever bought. I want to show you a couple more illustrations quick. There you go, there's another one. They were stopped by the strange appearance of three figures. All right, well, thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. And hopefully I will be putting out some more videos showing off different books, talking about different topics relating to books and antique books and book selling. So thank you all so much. See you next time.